Hello, I'm Trine Sports Information Director Matt Vader alongside head men's basketball coach Brooks Miller. We're here to take a look at the upcoming 2015-16 men's basketball season. Coach, let's start with last year. You won 17 games, continuing the trend of improvement, and finished second in the MIAA. Best finish ever for you guys in that conference. What did you take away from last year's experience and success?
Well, I thought I was pretty impressed with the guys' resolve last year, starting out 0-2. Now we lost to two really good teams, Heidelberg at their place, who was at full strength and a very talented team on the road, and then Elmhurst here, who was an NCAA tournament team out of the CCIW. So I thought we learned a lot about each other and really understood what each individual could do to help this team progress and move forward. But we had great leadership. When you got three seniors like Jake, Dustin, and Tyler, those guys found ways to make this team better, and I think the underclassmen really followed, obviously, with Jared and Will having all-conference type seasons.
You mentioned the leadership from Jake Bagley, Dustin Hall, Tyler Good. What sort of attributes are you going to have to replace with losing those guys?
Well, you don't replace them in a lot of ways. You know, Dustin was as good of a communicator as we've had here in 4 years, but four-year guys should be. They should understand what coaches are looking for and what the team needs to be successful, and Dustin did that throughout his career, playing a multitude of positions and helping us in different ways. Tyler's athleticism on the perimeter is something we're going to miss, and I think that experience and athleticism will be irreplaceable this year, but we'll just have to find a different way to try to make up for that production. But Tyler has easily been, in the 4 years we've been here, the most productive player we've had when it comes to rebounding defensively, scoring, driving the ball, putting pressure on the defense, being able to challenge shots on the perimeter. I think he's done an excellent job. And I think collectively we'll have to try to replace that this year at the defensive end as well as the offensive end. And then Jake was a guy that just, whatever we needed, got something done last year. 14 rebounds against Calvin here at home in a win, 5 steals against Ohio Wesleyan, 6 threes in the first half at Kalamazoo. He had a senior year. He had a senior year of a guy that was really a big role player for us for 2 years, and then last year just found a way to really contribute at a high level. And we're going to need something like that again from one of the seniors this year if we want to improve on that success.
You mentioned some of these guys coming back, Jared Holmquist and Will Dixon, first team all MIAA last year. Jared led the conference in scoring in conference games, narrowly missed out on the rebound title, and Will was right there with him scoring through most of the season. What do these guys bring to the table coming back this year?
Well, they have a maturity about them and a competitive fire about them that's pretty unique. I think it's very hard to find a guy from Will's standpoint who, you know, Will had a couple games last year where in the first half you look at the numbers, you'd say, man, he was really struggling. And the nice thing about that, I think some people go into halftime and think, man, we're doing a great job on Dixon. We got to keep it this way. Will has a unique ability from a basketball IQ standpoint to take in what's going on and make his own adjustments. And I think if you look at the second half of ball games, Albion really sticks out at home in particular where he took over in the second half. And I know we had a couple other ones where he had some great second half games that really helped seal some victories that are really unique and special. So we're excited about what he brings to the table. He is an absolute competitor, not just on the floor, but in the classroom and everything he does, he wants to be the best at it. As far as Jared's concerned, I have never witnessed a transformation of an individual as a player and as a person like I did last year with Jared. We had a game at North Park last year on the road on a Saturday afternoon, a game that we lost down the stretch of the basketball game, and give North Park some credit, they made some big shots and some plays at the end. But we faced a lot of adversity in that game when it came to foul issues, which you're going to over at their place early on. But we still had plays that could have been made in the second half that would have won us the basketball game, and we didn't make them. And Jared and Will in particular were two of those guys that didn't make them. We had a little get-together afterwards and talked about how we lost that game. Never would have happened the year before, the way we lost it. And Jared came back for Christmas an absolute beast when it came to leading, not just by vocally, but just by example, by the way he carried himself, by the way he really turned it up at the defensive end. His offense was a direct result of how hard and how focused he was defensively, and I think that changed our entire season. We were looking at a 500 season if we were lucky with that group until Jared decided, you know what, this is what we're doing, this is where we're going to go, and I'm going to be a big part of getting us there. So, and his leadership as we've been going here in practice these first 2 weeks has been remarkable, and I think he's the type of guy that he earns everything he gets, and he's met a lot of different challenges. He's a 3.97 accounting major. I think he should have a great opportunity of being a first-team academic All-American in my mind. I can't imagine a more well-rounded individual, basketball player, student, guy in the community, all the things you're looking for from a senior. So I'm excited for him this year and where he can help take this team.
Some of the other returners coming back, starting guard Ben Soroka, a couple other key members of the rotation, Ellis Cummings, Tarvis Malone, Joel Zwiers, Addison Dobb. What are you looking for from these guys going into this season?
Well, I don't think you can have a program without returners. I think if you're constantly counting on new guys to come in and contribute at a high level, I don't think your program's in very good shape. So we really depend on our returners. I think that's what the program is. You come in, you understand, you play a role as a freshman, and that role constantly expands as you move forward, just like it did for Tyler, Jake, and Dustin. And I think we are really excited about the emergence of Ellis Cummings. I think he's greatly improved from year one to year two, being this is only his third year of playing organized basketball. He has a lot of physical gifts that you don't see a whole lot at our level. Tarvis Malone will be a senior. I'm so excited for him of how hard he's worked, not just in all aspects of his development, and I think he's really going to reap the rewards of that. And as a group, we're going to reap the rewards of that. But we're looking at a bunch of guys that we could start with Joel, and we also have Luke Wanger too, coming off an injury that has a lot of experience in our program, who's a junior for us with sophomore eligibility that we're excited about. So. I think that with the experience we have, with the combination of a couple new guys, I think those guys can help get them to where we need to be. And the goal that we have every day in this program is just to get better every day. I know it's a cliche, a lot of coaches say it, but we really believe that. And I think to reach our full potential, that's got to be something that we have to strive for, and it takes those returners to be on the same page and help bring those other guys along.
We got 8 newcomers this year. What are you looking for from these guys, and what can they bring to the table to help complement this existing core that you have coming back?
Well, we're really hoping that they really learn how to compete in a hurry, because there are a couple of them that are going to play some major minutes for us and play some really important roles for us. Kyle Dodson, freshman out of Centerville, Ohio. Jordan Craiglow, a backup point guard to Ben, and Adam Suzuki stand out in my mind right away. But also Jared Dishop, Austin Willett, Derek Ditto, even Marcus Winters coming in after the football season. I think they're a very talented group. We have a lot of length with this group, but they're going to have to understand how hard they have to compete at both ends of the floor. And when you got a guy like Ben Soroka, who really, that's what he does for our program. He's a great guy for these guys to follow when it comes to how dedicated and committed you got to be to the success of our team. What can you do to help us win games? Ben's a guy that's not a great shooter, not a great passer, not a special type of ball handler, but he's just so tough and he understands how to play. And nobody competes harder. And I tell him what he brings to the table for us is he plays from foul line to foul line as well as anybody we've ever had here, with a pace and a competitive mindset that is so unique. And I think these new guys have to draw from that. His competition, Jared's work ethic, Will's ability to make plays on the floor, Ellis's ability to develop and get better. I think everybody brings something to the table that if the new guys really can learn from these older guys, we can keep the program rolling and hopefully continue to get better.
Some of the things we've seen your team have a lot of success with the past couple of years is forcing turnovers, winning the turnover battle and turnover margin, shooting free throws at a high level, all those top 10 in the nation last year. Defensively, I think it was 13th. What does that say about the type of basketball that's being built here at Trine?
Well, I don't know if it's as much about the type of basketball we play as much as the type of people we have. If you look at those statistics, those are statistics that say these people are going to give themselves the best opportunity to be successful. We may not be the most talented, but we're going to value the basketball. We're going to make sure we get good shots, and we're going to make sure we get a shot. Nobody's guarding you from 15 feet when you're shooting a free throw. Those are things you can improve on your own and get better at. But more importantly, I think the unselfishness of the group, if you go look at the guys that shot the free throws, Tyler, Jared, and Will, and Ben probably shot 85 to 90% of our free throws last year. Those are 4 pretty good free throw shooters. So the unselfishness of the group to understand that those guys are the guys that need to make plays. And those are the guys we got to get the ball in their hands at the end of a game, whether we have a lead or we need to attack the basket in certain ways. So I think those stats talk more about the group that we have more as the brand of basketball. Now, I do enjoy that as contributing to the brand of basketball, and I think those are the type of individuals that succeed in our program. But those are things we do take pride in, but I think it has so much more to do with those guys in that locker room than it does with the type of basketball we play. They're going to give themselves the best opportunity to succeed in the things they can control. You talk about everybody asks me, well, how's the team going to be this year, this, and that. When it comes to wins and losses, I don't know. There's a lot of other coaches in our conference and teams that we play that are working really hard. They got a lot of high character, talented guys, things that we can't control. But I know what we can control is, nobody keeps you from shot faking. Whether we're playing the Chicago Bulls or we're playing the Kalamazoo Hornets, we can shot fake. We can communicate with a teammate. Those are the things we really focus on, and I think those statistics that you're talking about really exemplify that. Let's do what we can control and let the chips fall where they may when we know we've done everything that we can do, no matter who we're playing.
Talk about some of the cornerstones of the program, both on the court, the competitiveness off the court. Another thing that I know you value highly is the participation in the community. Can you talk a little bit about what the program has been doing there and why it's important?
Well, we do a lot of different things. A lot of our guys work with some of the kids in the community when it comes to doing individual workouts and stuff like that with them. We work at the Humane Society. We've really taken a lot of pride in that. I think it's something that we started a while ago, but it's really gained a lot of momentum. When it comes to our older guys embrace it. Marcus, I talk about Marcus Winters again playing football. He's jealous that he can't go out there with the guys on Thursday afternoons because he's got practice. So that's really a neat thing to hear. But we also learn a lot as coaches. We watch those guys interact with each other, build the relationships with one another, because we are so limited when it comes to the off season of what we can do with them. But it is enjoyable to go out there and see them embrace it with the type of opportunity of making a difference. I tell them every day, what did you do to make a difference today? Because in your life, there's no better feeling than that, than helping somebody out. And you have no idea what a little act of kindness or just a little extra effort on your part, how the ripple effect can affect changes. There are no big differences and small differences. Everything matters. Everything you do, everything you say. And I think when they're working together for something that has nothing to do with winning a basketball game or putting the ball through a hoop or keeping people from doing it, you're just worried about being together and working with other people. I think that's really special. It's fun to watch. And these guys, they come up with different ideas all the time. But I just think it's really important, and it's something that, as you get older as a coach, you figure out when you were a student athlete, you think, boy, man, I wish I would have spent more time doing this, or I wish I would have been more involved here. So I think those are some of the things that Coach Lindsay and I fall back on and say, let's try to get them involved in this or that, and the response has been great.
Another thing we've seen a lot of success of is in the classroom with this team. Over a 3-3 last year, 5 guys on the conference honor roll, 5 honors court members. Can you talk about the way the team has embraced the academic side of their time here at Trine?
Well, the first thing we wanted to do when we got here was we wanted to get the right people in place. Some people say we had to get the wrong people off the bus before you could get the right people on it. I think when it comes to academics, when people take care of business in that area, that means they're going to take care of things they can control. They can take care of things, they can execute a game plan, they can focus and concentrate. They're willing to try to get the most out of themselves. And we've really searched to try to find those type of individuals, and they've really, but those are the type of people that try to find us as well. It's not like we have a bunch of phys ed majors as well. Not I was a phys ed major, not there's anything wrong with that. But, we have a lot of engineers here. Will Dixon's a chemical engineer with a 3.5 GPA, which is probably the most challenging degree here on campus. Jared Holmquist is a 3.97 in accounting, and I think that those guys are high achievers, no matter what they do. They come from great families. We have a lot of strong family support in that locker room. And I think even the guys that maybe didn't experience as much academic success in high school as some others, once they get a taste for that and they understand that, hey, this is something to be proud of, they really roll with that. And I think it's for the first time in their lives, getting a B or an A is important. Not just, well, if I can miss this assignment or do this and still get a C or not, they don't think that way in that locker room. And I think it carries over into everything that you do. And from a coaching standpoint, it really, you talk about your quality of life. I don't sit with my phone by my bed, just wait for it to ring every night. Now, not saying it doesn't happen. They are young men that know how to relax as well, but they're making great decisions. There's no reason to think they wouldn't be making great decisions when they come for 2.5 hours a day and just bust their tails, and we get the results we do in the classroom. So I think it's a contagious thing that carries over to more than just the classroom. I think it carries over to their everyday lives, and it's something that we take a lot of pride in, because they do understand, hey, this is what we're investing in. It's the education that comes with playing the game of basketball. It's not just going out there and winning games. If it was done, when that horn goes off for those seniors this year, for the last game, if everything you got out of basketball was done at that moment, you're absolutely wasting your time. And we understand that they're investing in the challenge of being pushed, the challenge of being taken out of their comfort zone, both on and off the floor, and how they respond to that, because every experience is a good one. Even bad experiences you learn from, and you think, okay, this is maybe what I don't want to do. So I think these guys, it's really important for them to embrace that and understand, some people say embrace the pain. And I don't necessarily, it's the pain as much as the grind of really pushing yourself and challenge yourself and see what you're made of. And I think in the classroom, on the court, these guys understand that that's what they're investing here at Trine, and that's why this place has been so special. We have a 99% job placement rate. It's not just because of the professors or the coaches or the administration. It's all of us together attracting the right type of individuals that understand what's important, the preparation that they get in the classroom, the preparation they get on the athletic field or court, and the leadership we get from above, that I think makes this place so unique and so special to a lot of these guys.
You've had a couple of weeks of practice now to kind of gauge where you're at, and how do you assess where you're at right now, and what have you set any sort of expectations other than to get better every day?
We don't. We just want to reach our full potential. I think, we have to continue to play with better pace. I think one of the things we've done here, especially last year, we started to play with great pace at both ends of the floor. And what I mean by that is that's just not getting rebounds and running down and trying to get layups. That's sprinting to screen. That's finishing your cuts, making hard penetrating cuts. That's sprinting to the ball, not just jumping to it. It's attacking the basketball. So we constantly try to play with a better pace and a faster pace, and in turn compete harder and harder every day. We try to clean some mistakes up here and there, because I think when you play the style of basketball that we play from a motion standpoint and a half-court style of defense, that we all have to be on the same page. The communication, the execution has to continue to get better. And we do struggle early in the season. You can look back, and we're trying to limit that margin of error early on. But this is a basketball team that has gotten better as we move forward and learn from each other. We understand our roles. Roles are constantly being defined from day to day and everything that we do. And the more they understand what their role is and what can I do just to help this team grow and help it get better, I think that's how we improve. But we're playing against we got a monster schedule when it comes to we got at least 3 top 25 teams on the schedule at this point. We have to go to Ohio Wesleyan, who's ranked 13th. We got Oshkosh coming in here from Wisconsin, who's ranked in the top 25. Hope is in the top 10, and I think they should probably be in the top 5. And Calvin's always been great, and you got the rise of Alma. They're playing great basketball over there under Coach Hargraves and a system. And Albion and Adrian are always the toughest, most physical teams in the conference. And Olivet and Kalamazoo can always score it. So everything you're trying to do, you're constantly trying to how can we get better to counter our opponents, but more importantly, just within us. What do we got to do to improve as a group and have our style fit in with the rest of them?
There's a couple of rule changes that fans will notice this year. Notably, the 35-second shot clock is now 30. A couple different points of emphasis with how the game is officiated. Does that change any sort of preparation for you guys?
No, not necessarily. I think maybe it should. That might be a wrong answer, but I still think we're going to play the way we play. I don't think the 5 seconds is an extreme amount of difference from the 35-second shot clock. We are. What it does do is there's more possessions in a game. So it does favor the more talented teams when it comes down to that. So you have to find other ways to try to make up for the difference if there's a talent discrepancy. I do think that we're still going to be physical on offense, and we're going to continue to fly around defensively. But when it comes to the shot clock, we're probably a group that shoots it a little bit better this year. So I don't think that affects us as much. But I don't know how you could shoot it worse in some of the games that we had. But I do think that we're a little more experienced in that area. So we're just trying to play our brand of basketball, and we'll make adjustments as I'm sure the officials will be making adjustments. But as we move forward, we'll see certain areas that we need more work on, and we'll try to attack those.
Any final thoughts going into the opener in a couple weeks?
We don't have enough time. We need more preparation, but I think a lot of coaches will tell you that. It's a great group of guys to work with. I'm really excited about where they can go. Where we end up is just like I said, there's so much that's out of our control, but I can promise you this, we're going to handle what's in our control and really focus on the things that I think make this program unique and Trine University a special place to be a part of and something that everybody in the Angola community can be proud of. I think that's it's a real unique challenge in the MIAA from a lot of different fronts, and we're more than willing to accept those.
Well, thanks, Coach. You can tune in to the start of the regular season. That tips off Monday, November 16th at home against Heidelberg. Tip-off's at 7 o'clock. You can also catch the Thunder in action at home that same week on Thursday night against North Park, also at 7 o'clock. Thanks to Coach Miller for previewing the 2015-16 season, and thanks to you for tuning in. Go Thunder.